Hello.
Wow, we're live, folks. Here we are. Happy
Good morning.
Saturday. Hello. Good day.
It's coffee time.
Welcome to Warm and Cozy.
Take a deep breath. You made it.
You're here.
You made it to Saturday. It's going to be a good day.
You know who didn't make it in here? Danielle. She's teaching a class this morning. You didn't miss anything. We didn't replace her.
No, she's still here.
I have a froggy voice happening. I apologize. No, I've not started smoking. Please don't ask those questions. That would be weird.
That would be weird.
It would be weird. I don't need to do that in my life. Thanks.
Just wintertime cold allergy nonsense.
Oh, it's the worst. It's absolutely the worst.
It's going around. I hope you're healthy-ish.
Right.
Watching.
Absolutely. You should be. Got people jumping on, saying hi. Hello.
Awesome.
Hello.
Good morning.
I'll say hi to y'all in a second. I'm trying to get my comments on YouTube because there's always at least somebody on YouTube watching.
Yeah.
I've learned.
Yeah.
You can watch us on YouTube, by the way. Go to YouTube and subscribe. You don't have to deal with the chaos of Facebook at that point.
It's nice. It's just an alternative. Some people are getting away from the Facebook because there's a lot of
Dumpster fire.
Yeah, dumpster fire.
That's really the best way to explain it. Really. I mean, there's no polite way to say it.
I was going to say garbage, and then I was like, maybe that's not what I want to say. But
fire.
Yeah, you went dumpster fire. So
it's the best explanation of it all. See, there's Scott. We got Pam over there saying hi on the YouTube side.
Awesome.
Back to the Facebook side, though, because we are streaming both places live, like
right now, currently.
Right here and there. We got Beth watching with the help of 6 grandkids. That sounds like a full house.
Whoa. Hi, grandkids.
We got Kathleen hanging out with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
And hello, Patty.
Hello.
And we got Pamela down in Alabama.
Hi.
It's sunny and chilly in Alabama. I'm sorry.
We've
Did
had
they get ice down there?
I don't know. We've had a cold week
Ice.
here.
It's been cold, but there are some places south of us got some bad ice this
Yeah,
week.
they
It was
did.
rough.
Weather
Stay inside,
they're not used to. So, yeah,
Right.
be careful out there.
It's not meant for the faint of heart down
No.
that way. No, for sure. We got Deborah out there in the Tennessee. It's cold, 18 degrees. We had that yesterday.
Ooh, brutal.
It did not get any warmer.
No, and that wind was just like whip right through whatever you were wearing, I
Didn't
swear.
care. It didn't care.
No.
We got 60s online for today.
Yeah.
Supposedly. I'm ready for it. I'm going to have the garage door open. I'm going to have some shorts on.
Our friend Miss Wendy was in yesterday, and she said, I know that in the summer I will be complaining about how hot it is. But
Yeah.
I'm just ready to complain about something else. And that is exactly how I feel.
I mean,
So-
that's a real mood, honestly.
Thanks, Wendy, because
fact.
that's how I feel.
That is a fact. For real. Who else we got here? We got Sandy on there saying hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, Donna. Not only number one customer service, but great friends as well.
Oh, thank you, Donna.
Love that.
You're a
we
great friend to us, too.
Absolutely. We got Kim saying hello. Bonnie, good morning. Going to work on 100 blocks.
Nice.
You got your work cut out for you.
Yes.
So they were first meeting of February was yesterday when they started sewing together. Today is the second day. Today is the Super Saturday group.
Yes.
Yesterday was the first Friday, the Friday A group. They've also dubbed themselves the A team. So Tuesday, guys, you're going to have to come up with a super great name for your group. Same with the second Friday and the second Tuesday. Like, not saying any extra pressure on you, but
that's fun.
Get ready for it. We got Vicki Russ saying good morning.
Good morning.
And Joanne saying good morning.
Good
and
morning.
Nina saying good morning. Hello,
Hello.
everybody. Good to see you guys on.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
I'm glad I'm not talking to just a camera.
Right. It is definitely nice to see comments because otherwise we're in a room talking to ourselves.
Right.
Which is weird.
It really, really is. I tell you, though, last week with the live audience for the show and tell.
Different energy.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
For sure.
I almost want to sell tickets to have live audience here. I don't think anybody would pay, but it still would be fun.
That would be fun.
Sell tickets for it. Yeah, so anyway, I do enjoy having people commenting along. It does make my life easier. It makes it feel like you're really there. So don't be afraid to ask questions.
Please ask questions. We love questions.
So today, you're wondering what we're going to talk about. That's a good question. So here's what we decided. So yesterday, Sandy's like, what about ordering fabric? I said, that's boring. We do it all the time.
It's boring for us, but it might not be boring for you.
We do it all the time. So we decided a little behind the scenes of understanding how your favorite quilt shops.
Might be us.
That might be us. Get fabric, or how we decide to get fabric and how long we have to plan ahead to get fabric. All these things. to kind of give you a little more insight. So when you go and do some shopping, you can be a little more understanding of where it's coming from and what to
Right.
expect and how you could possibly even be part of making decisions at your local quilt shop.
Right. We just kind of want to demystify the whole process, let you know how it works from our end, and maybe what things you can do if you want to see a certain fabric line
Right.
or designer at your local quilt shop.
Absolutely. But before we can do that, we got some things we want to make sure we get to, some announcements, make sure you're aware of them. Donna Free Yard Month. Yes, ma'am, it's February. Local loyalty members, make sure you get in here. Don't miss that opportunity. And if you don't know, come in and ask.
Yes.
So, super first most important question, it's not a question, it's a statement. We have a Super Sew weekend happening next weekend.
It's super.
It's super and it's sewing and it's here with your friends.
And it's on the weekend.
And it's on the weekend.
And Monday.
And Monday. I mean, for some people, Saturday, Sunday, Monday is a weekend.
It is my weekend.
I mean, I don't know. So what that means is you're gonna sign up. It's $100 for 3 days. You're gonna come in on Saturday, 2 p.m. You're gonna be here till 10 p.m. You don't have to be here, but you have till 10 p.m.
You can be.
Then we kick you out. But then you come back in the morning at 8 a.m. You have till 10 p.m. Sunday night. On a Sunday, here we're not open.
The other nice thing is you can set up your machine on Friday or on Saturday and leave it until Monday. You don't have to pack up
you
each
don't have to
day.
pack it up every night. So it's just like a mini retreat. And
Yeah.
then we're doing Monday from
8 a.m. to
8
5
to
p.m.
5 p.m. Lunch is included on Sunday and Monday for the $100. And really, you just get to hang out with people. So
Yeah.
you don't want to sit there and watch this big game where they lob around a pigskin ball, which is made of fake leather. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a good way to get out of the house.
We will have some snacks, but not like Super Bowl party food.
I don't think you can say that word.
Not like big game party food.
Right. Don't make me laugh. I might end up coughing.
Not food in a bowl.
We're not going to put it in a bowl.
That's super.
That's weird. But anyway, you can also sign up for individual days. So say you can't make all 3 days, but you'd like to come a couple of the days. You can sign up a la carte, if you will.
Yes.
All that's listed on our website under the class section. You can sign up. I'd say sign up sooner than later. Make sure you get your spot. We got a couple people already signed up. So
we'd love to have you
do
come
that.
join us and sit and sew with us. And
Yep.
it's kind of fun because you get to hang out with us off hours or after hours. So
Right.
you get non-customer service versions of us a little bit. So
This does exist. It's fun.
it's fun. So we love getting a chance to kind of have that deeper connection with you guys.
Right.
So really fun for us, fun for you. We'd love to see you.
Absolutely. And good morning, Eileen, over there on YouTube, drinking her coffee. She's up to 4 cups already. You know that's how it works. So, yeah, sometimes videos may cut out. I don't know why. If that's us, if it's you guys, I don't know. I blame the YouTubes for everything. Let's see here. Other important questions. Why do I keep going doing questions? Not
I don't know.
questions. They're statements of fact. byAnnies is sponsoring your favorite local quilt shop.
Yes.
Okay. What that is byAnnies is the pattern books and all sorts of other crafty stuff. If you go to their website, you can put in your vote for your favorite quilt shop. I'm hoping that's me or us, not necessarily me, but
Yeah.
Warm and Cozy. That goes for the entire month of February
Yes.
until I think March 8th is the cutoff. So you have until March 8th to go and vote. I think you get to vote once per person. So vote wisely and, make sure you vote. Currently, we're in the top 20, which is awesome.
So exciting.
I'd like to stay there. I'd like to be number 1.
That would be awesome.
We're going to need a few more votes.
Yeah.
There's a Canadian store that's got like 500, 600 votes. So
If you're
yeah.
looking for that link, it's going to be in the video description, both on YouTube and on Facebook. So wherever that description is, if it's above, below, to one side,
right.
there is that link there. It's pretty easy to vote. You if you type in the word warm, we come up really fast.
Yeah.
And then it does ask if you have any additional comments or stories about the shop. So that's the most laborious part of voting, is if you decide to put in a comment. We can actually access all of those comments. So we have been reading the comments that people have been putting, and we really appreciate those. Those are very, very kind. So thank you to those
Right.
who have already voted. But
It's a hazard of having the number 1 customers. that you're going to probably cry a little bit when you read the comments because you guys are so nice. Thank you for those that have voted. And we've got several that have already said they voted. Thank
Yes,
you.
Thank
Appreciate
you very
it.
much.
If you're watching this and you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, go ahead and find that link and just go vote for us.
Yes, we do appreciate that.
Because there are prizes for the shops that win. And if there's prizes, that means I can give those prizes away because I don't need them.
Right.
So-
We want to pass that on to you.
Because you voted for me, I want to give somebody a chance to win something else too. So there you
Yeah,
go.
I think one of the grand prizes is like a shopping spree at a fabric warehouse where you just get to like, I mean, I think there's limits. I don't know all the rules, but how cool would
Do
that
I care? I'm going.
Right.
I mean,
Like, how
please.
cool would that be? And we could pass the savings on to you. So,
Ooh, Vicky says we can vote every day. Every day, guys. Go vote. I don't know.
I think that might not be true, Vicky.
I don't care. I'm saying go for it. Give it a
But
shot.
I mean, you can always try. I mean, the worst that happens is they don't count every vote.
Right.
You know, they might be monitoring and not count multiple votes, but
Maybe they are. Maybe they're not. I'm going to try it. I'm going to stuff that ballot box. Oh, man. Warm and cozy every day. That's at least 30 votes.
yeah.
Heck yeah, man. Going to do it. All right. And last but absolutely not least, who out there needs a handy quilter, a long arm in their life? Who's been thinking about it?
I've been thinking about it.
I've been thinking about it, but I've got several.
I got to
But
move first.
They have a special running this month that I've never seen them run before. So Handy Quilter does have a line of domestic machines. We don't talk about them a lot because I don't sell them here, but this month through the 24th, if you buy a Pro Stitch or a machine, you get a sewing machine with that long arm. If you buy a machine, a long arm with the Pro Stitcher system, you can get their biggest, baddest model, which is like a $2,000 machine.
Nice.
Like, what?
That's a really nice promotion.
It's a crazy, awesome promotion. So I said that to somebody the other day, and they're like, man, and I only got free shipping. I know.
Then every stitch is Handy Quilter.
It's all Handy Quilter all
That's
the way
amazing.
through. So that only runs through the 24th. So if you're interested in, that promotion, you'd love to get yourself a new machine and a long arm at the same time, come see me.
What a good bonus.
I will get you a good deal on that, get you guys set up. It'll be great. On that note, with Handy Quilter, we have a van event coming the 27th, 28th of February, 1st, 2nd of March. Some of you have signed up already. Other of you didn't even know it was happening.
Right.
Well, it's sold out already, but don't dismay. There is another setup. So I'm going to have the machines here for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. So I'm going to actually set up another education event. I'm going to tack down the final details of that today. So it will be a very limited seating, be about 12 people, but I'm looking at a 3-day class. So it's going to be a lot of information. Handy Quilter Educator here in the store. So if you missed that opportunity, keep an eye out for that in the next couple days.
Watch the Facebook, watch your emails. We'll definitely be getting the word out. And thank you to everyone who's already signed up. We got the word out a little bit, and it went crazy.
I've never seen it sell out so quick.
That was amazing. But we're trying to come up with other cool stuff we can do with you guys while we've got these machines here.
Absolutely. So keep an eye out for that. I think that's all the major announcements that I have, unless you can think of anything else I've missed at this point.
I think that's what we
Any
needed.
questions? Raise your hands. No? Nobody? No? Okay. Love it. We're back to 0 viewers, I think. I don't know what happened. Kidding.
Okay, so you want to talk about how we select our fabrics for the shop.
Yes, we're going to talk about that.
Great.
Let's do this. All right. So fabric.
Fabric.
There's so much to choose from. If I could express to you how much fabric comes through with a sales rep,
It's so much.
there's so much that we don't get because it's impossible to get it all. But that said, quilt shop fabric is designer type fabric. It's come a long way from the old bead sacks,
Right.
where I understand that you would, on particular day of the week, make sure you were first at the mill to make sure you get the prints you wanted.
Right, because you wanted the prettiest bag.
Right, because that's going to make your clothes, it's going to make your quilts, all
Right.
the things. So we've come a little bit of away from there, sort of. Sometimes you do want to get first in line to get the new line that came in, so don't get me wrong. But with that said, when you're talking designer fabrics, you're talking quilt shop quality versus big box sometimes. Not that the big box stores don't get something, but apparently we're leaving the store. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. I don't know what happened. But there is a quality difference between what we get here in the quilt shops. They are treated a little different. They end up with a better hand sometimes. which makes for just a better finished product. So with that in mind, there are designers out there that make up the main top part of the umbrella. Underneath that are designers, which are the individuals that create the prints that we're going to use or see on fabrics.
Make sure that we are not still streaming now. Hi, we might be back.
All right, let me click some buttons here. I don't know what's going on. Are we back? Nope, that's a... Oh, no, wait.
Are we
it
back?
says I'm back. Look, there we are.
Yay.
Hi.
Hi. Sorry, we had a technical issue.
So if you don't provide power to the electronic devices, they don't work. Much like if you don't put thread in your machine, you can't sew. Did you know that?
Yeah, I got the alarm and didn't quite get it plugged in right before it shut down. Anyway, technology is hard sometimes, guys.
Oh, good Lord. Sorry, guys. It's fun, though. It's keeping us on our toes. I'm actually glad it all came back and running, though, because
Yeah.
that was one of those things.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for
Okay,
hanging
we're
out
back.
with us.
We're
We are
back.
not professionals all the time. Anyway, as I was saying, fabric qualities, things of the sort.
Yes.
There is a difference between your, stuff that goes to the big box stores, but versus the stuff that comes to the quilt shops. Typically, the stuff that comes to your local quilt shop is a higher quality. May have the same names on some brands, but they're definitely finished at a different fashion.
Yes.
Make them a little higher quality when they come to us versus what you're going to find at a box store. So that's kind of important to know. We've talked about that a couple of times, and
Yes.
I'm not going to beat on that one too much, but be aware that there's definitely a difference when you walk into the small shop versus
And they
one of
don't
the guys.
have access to the same the same lines, the same brands. Those are going to be separate versus the big box stores versus your local quilt shop.
Right.
There's some crossover, but not too much.
Some, but not a lot. So keep that in mind. Where was I going to go with that? So we got fabrics to choose from. The big important thing is to figure out where that all comes from. How do we find these things? So, where does your local quilt shop come up with the idea of what fabrics to carry? So you've got Market.
Right.
That is a huge source for quilt shops to go to. That's Houston, typically in the fall.
Right.
What that is you guys have been to the Houston show. Some of you have been there, I know. Others of you maybe have never heard of it. But what that is for retailers, we go there and they show off all the fabrics that are coming.
It's basically the event for the industry. So they usually have over 500 different companies represented that are related to the sewing crafting world.
That's an insane amount.
It's insane.
That's
and
a lot.
When I looked it up yesterday, they actually usually have about 1,000 different booths. So some of those companies are obviously, representing more than one booth.
Sure.
But they cover everything from sewing machines, notions, patterns to fabrics, and it's a limited amount of time and a lot of people to see. So
Right.
It's kind of a frenzy. You definitely want to schedule your time well and plan for who you want to see.
Right.
It's kind of a frenzy situation, but many shop owners will only buy at Market.
Mm-hmm.
They'll make a plan to go. They'll make appointments with their reps. They'll visit the booths they want to see. They place all their orders for the year, and that's how they do it. It's a great way. It's not typically how we do it. We've only
Right.
been to Market. I personally have not been, but we've only been to Market one time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's typically offered in the fall and in the spring. This year, there's no spring market.
There was not.
But so you can go twice a year, but that is a way that fabric stores will order fabric.
Right.
Another way that they order is they'll just make an appointment for their rep to come and visit them at their shop.
Right.
And so that's typically how we do a good chunk of our ordering is our fabric rep will come, and a particular rep will carry several different brands.
Right.
So a fabric brand is just the company that gets the fabric printed. So there might be brands that you've heard of, like Northcott or Riley Blake, or we have Paintbrush Solids. Those are all maybe names that you've heard before, and that is just the company that is getting that fabric printed.
Right.
So we'll have a specific rep that may carry one or more brands, and they will come and show us all of the offerings that that company has.
Right. And we usually, what kind of the same principle as the Houston event, where you can go and you're going to make a plan to see specific retailers or vendors. Same thing. I really only make room in my calendar for specific lines because there's the lines that I prefer to see.
Sure.
Because there's so many to choose from. I can't have sales reps in here all the time because literally I would get nothing done.
Oh my
Ever.
gosh. And when they come, it is really fun, but it is also so overwhelming because every company puts out a pretty good spread of different options for you, and everything is pretty. I mean, and we have to say no 100 times.
So many times, and so many times it's just painful because I want that and that and that, but that too. We can't do all that.
There's only so much money and room and space, and
Right.
there are certain limitations. We can't say yes to everything, but it is always really fun. That's always a good day for me. Is when I get to be a fabric buyer.
It is fun those days. So if you've been going through your quilting journey and you start finding fabric names that you like, it's kind of nice to know where you can find those fabric companies at. So, for instance, Northcott. We've become a large fan of Northcott.
Yes.
You're going to come in our store. You're going to see a lot of Northcott stuff laying around. Well, not laying around, sitting on the shelves. We don't flippantly throw our fabric on the floor. That's insanity. But with Northcott is like the parent company for several different lines of fabric that are out there, including Banyan Batiks, which
and Figo.
And what's the last one? There's a fourth one. I had it written down, but I don't know where it's at. Maybe I deleted it because that's what I do. Silly things like that. It doesn't matter. They all still are quality fabrics, all supplied by the same company. And when we have Mark, who is a sales rep for Northcott, comes in, he's also the sales rep for several other lines and companies that are out there. So we get to see all the fabrics that are coming up. Typically, these fabrics are planned for release about 6 months in advance.
Yes.
So this is pretty important to be aware of.
Yes.
Because I don't know what's going to sell in 6 months.
No.
So I'm guessing.
This is a huge challenge for us. So we have to do this large advanced ordering, and you might be asking why. Why do we have to tell them that we want this line 6 months from now or 9 months from now or however far out in the future? And part of that is because there is a lot of logistics on the back end that they have to do. So they need the advanced ordering to get an idea of how much fabric to print.
Right.
Because most of the time, what we're talking about in this particular conversation is not reorderable fabric. So this is what we generally call one-offs. They will only have a single printing. So the way that process works from the fabric companies is they'll have a designer, they'll design the fabrics, and then they're usually printed either in a catalog like this, or sometimes we'll get cards, much like this one, that show the whole collection. And that's what we're shown to then say, yes, I want the fabric. So oftentimes we're ordering fabric having never actually seen it printed on cloth. We're ordering from paper.
Here is shiny paper. Pick the one you like.
Yes. And usually we do get these large cards. We're not usually ordering out of a catalog of this size. So we are getting a good idea of scale, but it is still very challenging. But once the quilt shops put in their orders, that tells the companies how much they need to print. They do print extra, but not a tremendous amount of extra.
Right.
And then, so that's why there's such a lead time, because they have to schedule with the printers. They have to get it all printed, wrapped on bolts, shipped to the warehouse, and then, of course, they have to ship it to the fabric stores.
Right.
All of that takes a lot of time.
Right. Which is also why we're very much adamant about telling you, if you see a line that you absolutely love, don't wait to buy it, because once it's gone, they only printed so much.
Right.
Sure, there might be some hiding somewhere, but once it's gone, we're not going to get that fabric line ever again. So, and that's typically with your main one-off lines, as we call them. That's what we call them. Is there an appropriate term for that as one-off lines, or?
That's what we call them.
That's what we're going with.
That's what I'm
One-offs.
going with.
So that's the very important thing to know about these guys. So this is a lookbook. I'm looking at it, and it's a book. So therefore, it's a lookbook. You may be wondering yourself, is it possible for me to show this to you? Well, absolutely. Look how adorable those little raccoons are right there.
They're so cute.
I would love to have this in the shop. Will it sell in 6 months? Oh, probably not. Maybe it will. Maybe I'm going to have an overwhelming response from people saying, please get that so I can have it.
They're going to say, I love the raccoons.
I will call Mark and say, Mark, please send me the raccoon fabric. I need it for sure. But let's say that's not the case. Or maybe you're curious what to expect in 6 months. Well, you can find sometimes online, some lines have their lookbooks online.
Yes, most of the fabric companies do. So if you are someone who's like, I really love P&B, for example, you can go to that. What I would suggest that you do is if you have a designer or a fabric company that you really love, follow them on social media.
Yes.
A lot of these companies, especially now, have gotten really great about having that social media presence, and they will put out sneak peeks, and that kind of gives you an idea of what's coming. And usually with advanced enough notice that you can contact your local quilt shop or us, if that's us, and say, hey, I just saw that this was posted and it looks really cool. Is this a line that you're interested in?
Right.
If it is, still within that time period where we can order it, then we can consider doing that. But if the line is already shipping to stores, in a lot of cases, it's already too late for us to put in an order.
Right.
So do just bear in mind there is this long tail advanced ordering that happens with one-offs. Now, if it's a reorderable line, which usually then you're talking about your basics, but not always. There are some collections that are reorderable and reprinted.
We also refer to those sometimes as blenders.
Yes.
If we said that or not, but
blenders, basics.
Blenders are kind of the ones that you find and they fill in all the blanks on all the fabric. So your solids, your grunge, your QTs, all the things, your Riley Blake Raptures, you name it.
Yes.
Those are blenders.
Yes.
Those are reorderable.
Right. And sometimes they'll have, like I know some of the companies that do all digital printing, they will, because they're digitally printed, it's a little bit easier for them to do another run. So those sometimes you can reorder up to a certain point.
Right.
Not to muddy the conversation, but there is some mud here. So
never really actually.
No, never actually mud.
This is not an outdoor event.
No. But for those reorderables, oftentimes you can, as a consumer, order little color cards. Like these are our solids cards. We have this here in the shop, so if we need to match something, we can refer back to this. But also, as a consumer, you can often order these if you love paintbrush solids and you want to be able to match at your house to know what to order. These are sometimes available for you to purchase to have personally as well.
Right.
And if they're not, you can sometimes contact your local quilt shop and they can order it in for you.
Yep.
So if that's something that you're interested in, that's another way that you can be a little bit more proactive in getting what you need.
Right, and knowing what you're going to need, especially if you've got a project, somebody wants you to make a wedding quilt for somebody.
Right.
And you're, what colors am I going to use and what do I need to make that happen? If you have a color card that you can work from and actually see what the colors look like, that's going to really help you plan. Donna says that she follows Scott Fortunoff. Yeah, if any of you watching this right now on the Facebooks don't follow Scott Fortunoff, you need to go find that man and follow him.
He's great.
He is fantastic. He's named himself president. He's got moved into that title officially, I think, a year and a half ago. President of Jaftex Corporation, which Jaftex is the parent company of multiple lines, many lines that you love. And he has really made a great social media presence like you were talking about.
Absolutely.
He does a vlog. He does post stuff about, he does freebies. He does all kinds of giveaways, really interacting with the customer base.
Yes.
He promotes the Jaftex Challenge, or the Scott Sent Me Challenge, which happens every September, where he tells you go to the quilt shops and say, Scott sent me, then your quilt shop could win. You could win stuff like it's great. I love the man. He's awesome for that.
He's always, I want to say he is definitely one of the biggest and I would say the best that we have seen in trying to engage the community a little bit more and come up with fun things to keep you guys feeling connected to these large companies that are printing fabric for you.
Right. He also has a Facebook group for retailers specifically because he wants to keep the retailers engaged as well. Because sometimes as a retailer, I feel like I'm not doing this right. I don't know. Is this how I should do this with these fabrics? And he is super supportive of the stores as well. So
Yes.
absolutely wonderful what he does. Who's Jaftex? We've talked about him before, but they are the parent company for companies such as Free Spirit, Studio E, Henry Glass, Blank. I was just drawing a blank actually, so that was actually kind of funny that worked out that way. And then Three Wishes. You guys have probably heard of all these guys. Under the Free Spirit umbrella are the names that you know of, such as Tula and Cave and Tim Holtz. You've heard of these guys. You love them. All from the parent company of Jaftex.
Yes.
Okay. So absolutely we're following them. And again, Henry Glass, if you love the reproduction style fabrics. I love Henry Glass fabric, the colorways and all that. Very old style, traditional, beautiful stuff. Great fabric quality as well.
Yes.
So absolutely worth looking at. Oh, and A.E. Nathan. I forgot about
Yes,
that.
A.E. Nathan.
That's another one that they are the parent company for. So again, if you don't follow Scott Fortunoff, I do encourage you to go check him out, follow him. Always great stuff to talk about from him. That's very important to know what they do. And they have lookbooks as well online. So you can go see what to expect. Tula Pink is actually very well known for showing off what she has coming out in 6 months.
Yeah, and I know she will even do lots of behind the scenes stuff showing you some of her sketches and then how those turn into her eventual fabric designs. And she's amazing. So that's really awesome.
Right. And the other thing Scott does is he does do the tours of his warehouses where they actually bolt all these fabrics and get them ready to go out for sale to the shops. So very cool stuff, worth checking out if you haven't done that yet.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have a sales rep come in and they lay out a layer of cards. Let's imagine this.
Unfolded. Stacked on top.
About this tall. Okay.
Yes.
How do we choose what you guys want?
It's whatever Danielle likes.
It really comes down to what Danielle wants.
And that's what we ordered. No.
And we just guess and hope and pray that that's going to work out that way.
To a degree, that's slightly true.
It is.
Generally, it's not just Danielle. Generally, we have several people sitting in on these appointments, giving opinions. But other things that we have to consider is, how versatile is this line? Is this a line that, is it a small line? Is it a large line? Would this be good, for the scale? Is it good for making bags, for making quilts, for making a particular product, or using a specific technique? We're always considering those things. We also need to consider how marketable is it? If it is something that is very novelty, like if it has cats on it. If you don't love cats, this fabric probably isn't going to be for you.
I don't want to make cats the linchpin in this conversation.
No.
Let's use things like lighthouses.
Sure.
We are in the Midwest.
Right.
Believe me, I love a good lighthouse. They're cool. The paintings with lighthouses are awesome.
Yes, beautiful.
But they don't sell real well in the Midwest because we don't relate to them.
Right. We don't have a lot of lighthouses in the area, so it's not something that you associate with this particular shop.
Right. Now, farm-related materials, we don't carry much of that, but we should because we're in the Midwest.
Yeah.
We're not really in farm country, but we're pretty much surrounded by farm country. So that's more relatable to my customer base. So you guys may appreciate that more, but you would also appreciate more rustic looking materials. So therefore we kind of lean towards those.
Sure.
But we also have the modern prints as well. So very important to know that our choice in fabric isn't just Danielle's whimsy. Not entirely.
Right. We also, want to look to make sure that there's enough depth in the line, that there is enough contrast, that it's going to make a nice quilt, that you don't have to pull too much from other things to make it work. So we're also thinking about that when thinking about the aesthetics of the line. Also, is there enough contrast? Is there enough interest? How's the scale on the prints? But also we have to think about okay, who are my customers who I know will buy this line?
Right.
Can I actually sell it?
And you know
that's
who you
important.
are. When I see it, I know who you are, and I know you need that in your life. I am
Right.
thinking about you specifically.
Yes.
Do I
And
buy based on one customer?
no, but you
you're
would
part
be
of it.
surprised how often we think about very specific people when we're shopping for fabric. I'll look at a line and I go, I can think of at least 5 different people off the top of my head that I know would be so excited about this line.
Right.
That helps, because we have to say no a lot. That helps to get me toward a yes.
Right.
For sure.
Because we know you guys love beautiful fabric, and I know you want us to stop buying the pretty fabric because we're too expensive to be doing that all the time. But I like the pretty fabric in here sometimes too, so we have to do that.
For sure.
There are some lines of fabric that we don't get because, like Aboriginal fabrics, like Pamela just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
We don't carry Aboriginals here. There is a shop in the St. Louis area that does carry that.
Yes.
So she's actually known for those type of prints because that works for her and her clientele in that area. It works really well.
Right. And that's another thing that we consider when we're buying fabric is we know what the other shops in our area carry, and we don't ever want to think of ourselves as being in competition with other local quilt shops.
It's not a competition.
Because we're all supporting the same hobby. But
yes.
if
against big box.
Sure. Yeah. If we know that there's another store in our area that specializes in a type of fabric, they have already ordered enough depth in that kind of fabric to support it, then it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for us to try to compete with that or try to
Right.
also corner that market.
Absolutely. And there's another name, Tilda. I've heard the name. I've looked at the lines from Tilda. It's adorable fabric.
Yes.
I don't think we've actually spoken to the rep about getting any. I haven't sat in any conversations on that. But I've seen it. I'm aware of it. And I think that's from the brewer specifically that sells Tilda. I don't know. I've seen it.
I know that we have a rep for it,
Okay.
but I don't think it's somebody that we see regularly.
Gotcha. But yeah, things like that. I mean, just any insight. We've had many people come in with a name of companies. One more recently is Jason Yenter. I've heard the name for probably the last year. We actually have a line coming from him.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous fabric. I actually bought some on vacation back in June.
From In the Beginning.
From In the Beginning. Oh my gosh, gorgeous. The hand on it's great. The print is awesome. So why not, right?
Yes.
So, based on customer interest and, my own personal experience with it, why not?
Absolutely.
Pardon me. But Deborah, you got a great question there. Did you read that? So, have you ever been disappointed in your order, as in the texture or fabric or the design? Absolutely.
Yes, it does happen.
It does happen.
Especially, sometimes we have to buy our fabric online. So not only are we not seeing it printed on fabric, sometimes we do, not seeing it or seeing it on paper. Sometimes we're seeing it on a screen, and it's really, really challenging to color match with a screen.
Yep.
Because you have your screen settings plus, how good of a color match was that image to start.
Right.
It's really, really challenging. So sometimes things come in and they're not quite the scale we thought they would be, or they're not quite the colors we thought they would be, or it's not quite as vibrant as we thought it was.
Right. Or maybe just the print quality was just poor. Things that were could have easily been rectified in the printing process, either digitally or the standard way of printing. I've seen just where they could have done better, and we won't buy from them again.
Yeah.
It absolutely won't happen. So. We'll sell the fabric that we got because it needs to find a new home, but I won't ever order again. There was one time we got backings. I don't remember where it was from, and so I'm not going to drop names on it. We bought a backing. Vincent put it on the back of a quilt that he made for a then girlfriend. And within a year, the backing fell apart. We don't carry that line anymore because no thank you.
That's frustrating.
Because we bought it under the impression that it was a well-known name, that was good quality stuff, that it was going to be great. Didn't turn out to be so, and so we won't carry that anymore. And that was years ago.
Sure. Well, that's one of the benefits now of us having been in business for a while is, we have done some of that trial and error for you.
Right.
Where we've tried things and it hasn't worked. And we continue to try new things.
Always.
So not to say that because we've been here for a while, we are doing everything 100% right and we don't change our ways.
I would never say that.
No, absolutely not. In fact, we have ordered some, we get asked all the time about licensed fabric that has printing of Disney or
Sports teams.
yeah,
or
other intellectual property is what I
Yes.
was trying to say. So when it comes to that, only a certain company will have the licensing to be able to print that.
Mhm.
So we're trying some new fabrics from Camelot. They have the licenses for a lot of the Disney prints, and we're going to try that out and
It's
see
been a
how
while
we
since
like
we've
it.
had any of their stuff.
Yeah, we've had some
Okay.
Camelot before, so we're going to try it and see if we like it. But
Right.
yeah, we're always trying new things. So
Absolutely.
one thing that you can do as a consumer,
So that's a good question. What can they do to be more involved in this
yeah,
process?
absolutely. If there's something that you want to see, call, email, store, carrier pigeon, however you contact your quilt shop.
I do not know how to handle carrier pigeons, so if you send one, I can't assure you it's returned safely in a box. Sorry.
Contact your quilt shop and let them know. But know, with a disclaimer, know that that is a request, and that doesn't, just because you called me doesn't mean I'm absolutely going to order this line.
Right, absolutely.
Because I do have all those factors that we previously talked about to consider before I say yes to a line. But if I have people calling me about it, that's going to move me closer to a yes than I was without
Right.
that. So if there are things that you want to be seeing that you're not seeing, absolutely call, comment, email. Email is probably my preferred.
And I think what can help with that as well is so I say that we can't carry everything. That means somebody you may have ran into may carry it. You may have
Yes.
got some at some point and you really loved working with it, or is absolutely gorgeous and you really loved dealing with it.
Yeah.
That really helps the conversation. If it's, oh, I saw 18 people on this particular group talked about it, how good it was, you should try it.
Yeah.
I need a little more experience with that. That helps to make me want to do that. But if you've got personal experience with using one of the lines that you're interested in, that's really going to be super helpful for us to help make that decision.
Yeah, we had a
for sure.
customer bring in a tote bag full of fabrics that she had bought elsewhere, which, by the way, is fine. I'm not upset that you're buying fabric elsewhere.
I mean, I don't carry it, so that's cool. We got to get it somewhere.
But she was able to bring it in, and I was able to see it actually on fabric, which is always nice. So that's welcome too.
Yeah.
And one of the things we alluded to earlier is a lot of these companies have their lookbooks, the exact same thing that we're looking at when we're ordering fabric, available on their websites. So I'm actually going to show you a few
Okay.
in just a moment.
Got to click some buttons, do a thing.
So, for example, this is Riley Blake.
Okay.
And they have all of their, they call them storyboards on their website, but you can see everything that's going to come out, and they even list the date in which it will be available. And this is all on their website for you. I mean, I'm not logged in any special retailer
Yeah, this is open
site.
to the public. You're not going to see anything here that you shouldn't see.
And I'm just showing some examples. There's definitely more. I couldn't show you everybody all at once, but then you can click into these to find out more information about any of these lines. Northcott does the same thing. It's the same as the book we have here on the table, and you can arrow through and see all of their lines that they have that are releasing. There's those pandas those trash pandas, raccoons we were talking about earlier. Art Gallery is another company that also has their lookbooks available that you can sort through, and so does Free Spirit. They just have them listed as, with one small image, and you can click into these and see the full collection.
Look how cute those fabrics are.
So you can always search that way.
Right. And most of these, I believe, underneath them should have an expected shipping date or expected release date.
Yes.
That'll help, just, again, maybe not so much that we're going to get it because you saw it and you think it's pretty, but it gives you an idea of when to expect it to be released to the public. So you can always go looking for it because you kind of already know what you're looking for.
Right.
It's kind of the same conversation from, the Wednesday live sales or just shopping Facebook sales. It's tough for customers because it's really hard to get a feel for what that fabric's going to look like. But again, we do it all the time based on cards, based on, what we see on the internet. It's not all that often that we have a sales rep that has actual samples of the fabric.
Right.
Again, because we're doing it months in advance. So
yeah.
It's nice to be able to see it, though.
Yeah, and I want to preface all of this by saying I don't expect that everyone will be this intense about looking for fabric and
No.
will do all of this research all of the time. But if if you have a particular designer or a particular company that you love, I would absolutely be checking their lookbooks and trying to keep up with what's going on with that one. I don't search all 25,
Right.
but if you pick one that you really love,
Right.
that's a great way.
Right. So those Tula fans that are out there, you really want to see those. You can go to the Free Spirit site and you can go and you can look at the lookbooks for Tula and see what her lines look like that are coming up, to see
Yeah.
all of them ahead of time. It's really nice having that option. I'm just really glad that we live in the day and age we do, so you can kind of have an idea ahead of time. I also want to point out too, Christmas fabric.
Yes.
Christmas fabric is coming. It always does, May, June.
Yes.
Okay? We get them in May and June, so that way you have at least 6 months to make your Christmas projects and get them done. You're not
Right.
rushing to do them. Now, I bought Christmas fabric for this May, June time frame
In
back
like
in
October.
October.
Yes.
So if you ask me what I'm getting, I have no idea. I have to go to my sheets and my forms and find out what it was and then go find a picture of it. It's already ordered. So if you come in October and say, hey, did you buy any more Christmas fabric for next year? Yes.
My attention span is not all that long when it
No.
comes to ordering. I mean, I order stuff online personally, and when it comes, I've forgotten what I've ordered, and it's like Christmas. So
Yeah.
when we're talking about 6 months ago, I really don't remember. I mean, we take very good notes. We have a spreadsheet. It's a whole thing. I can look it up. But
Right.
we also try to help you guys out by at the bottom of our newsletter, letting you know what lines are coming in.
Right.
But again, those are things that are scheduled to come in the next month that we ordered 6 months ago. But we're doing what we can to try to keep you guys informed on what's coming in and what we have coming.
Yep.
So.
And you can always ask too. I am not object to you coming in and be like, hey, I saw on this Northcott line, this such and such particular line. Are you guys going to by chance be getting that? It's coming out in May.
Yeah.
I have no problem going to look and see if we ordered that. And if I didn't, I'm sorry. I'm okay with you going and buying that somewhere else because you want that line. Go get it.
Absolutely.
Do it. And again, not everybody in this area buys and has all the fabrics. They just don't. I'm sorry. It doesn't happen.
Or if you're like, hey, I'm working on this project and I really want a floral line. What floral lines do you have coming?
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you know and I'll send you whatever information I can if that's something that you want to know too.
Right. Just know it's all very overwhelming. I never understood how overwhelming it was until I sat in for the first time. And it was an all-day event. I love Mark. He's fun.
He's
but
very
he's
fun.
got so many lines to go through.
Well, and that's one of the great
It's
things
so
about
tough.
shopping with your sales rep is that because they interface with the company, they know more behind the scenes stuff about the line so that he can tell us information about the designer or what their inspiration was or the process that they used. Like we tend to buy those alcohol dyes from Northcott.
Oh yeah.
We had a whole conversation with Mark about that. That's the kind of personalization that we don't get when we order online. And we can pass that on to you so that you kind of have a little bit more of a personal connection with the fabrics we're carrying.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Eileen talking about Jay Wecker Fresh. Yeah, she has
love
got some
her.
great stuff. Riley Blake.
Art journals coming soon. Her next line.
Is that the next line from her?
Yes.
That's going to be awesome. Yeah, she's got some great prints. I love her art. Really do. And then she's apparently not a quilter. She just makes the fabric prints.
Yeah, and she's local-ish.
Local-ish. Farmington, Fredericktown.
Yeah.
Sometimes. So southeast Missouri.
Yeah.
Missouri. I did say Missouri. You're welcome.
That's where it is. Missouri is St. Louis. Missouri is the rest.
It's the rest.
Well, I guess Kansas City is in Missouri, too.
Oh, cool. Speaking of Kansas City, Fabric Quilt. They are the parent company of, you all love them, as Donna pointed out earlier, Paintbrush Solids. Paintbrush Fabric comes from Fabric Quilt. They're out of Kansas City, Mo. Not that far away. So you like supporting your local-ish shops and your businesses and the things? There you go.
Yeah.
Do you know about Paintbrush Solids?
They're wonderful.
210?
210.
210 different colors. Is that the largest amount of solids on the market? No.
No.
But are these the prettiest and best hand? Yep. Do they fray?
We think so.
They don't fray that bad.
No.
I'll tell you right now. I love working with them.
I've worked with other solids that were worse.
Right. They end up looking like spiders by the time you're done with it. Red everywhere. Terrible. Anyway. I really think that's the gist of it. Just know that we do our best when ordering. you are welcome to input
Yes.
at any point in time. I'm not offended by that.
No, not at all.
We will
And
take
I
any
love
input.
when people will message and say, "Hey, are you getting this line?"
Mhm.
That's nice. It lets us know that you're thinking about us, that you would prefer to shop with us. And, I have no problem saying, yes, we are, or no, we're not.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Beyond that, I don't think there's much more to say on that conversation. Go look at the lookbooks. Go look at what's coming. Be
Yeah.
informed. It's cool to be informed. It's
Yeah.
a little bit of unless you're just good with surprises, that's fine too.
And, I saw that Pam had said earlier that she'd just have to trust us.
Well, that's fair.
That's part of it too,
totally
is
cool.
we appreciate the trust, and we understand that is a level of trust, that we
Yeah.
are standing behind these fabric companies and what we bring in. So
Right, which is why we don't necessarily lean into one style. It's not just into moderns and it's not just into traditionals. It's kind of, we try to separate the two, kind of both. And sometimes we'll find names that maybe people haven't heard of before. So maybe we get something that's pretty awesome and new that somebody might like. So
Yeah.
Anyway, worth checking all those out. All right, that all said, I've got nothing else to tell you about picking fabric. Just know it's fun, but not at the same time.
it's fun.
What is it? Almost time to get out of here.
Yes.
But don't forget, Monday, flash sale. That's on the website. Every Monday, starts at 9 a.m. Goes all day. You just go there, click through the shop now, go to the flash sale.
You never know what's going to be on sale.
Danielle has been putting some wild pricing out there.
Sometimes
something
we
the other
gotta
day was
watch
like
her.
$7 a yard. Like I don't know. I cannot control this woman, and I don't even pretend that I can.
No.
I mean, no.
She does what she wants. Have you met her?
And that's fine. I mean, whatever. She wants to get fabric off the shelves. It's time to move it. So it's time to move it. So, Monday flash sale. Go check that out. Wednesday, we're back here every Wednesday, 6 p.m. We're here for an hour-ish, selling you fabric. We're doing amazing pricing on stuff. Make sure you come back and check that out. And then I think that's really the major ones.
Yeah.
Don't forget to sign up for the Super Sew.
Check out our classes.
That's next weekend. It's Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 3 days, sitting, sewing, having fun, hanging out with some cool people. Handy quilter stuff. Come talk to me. We'll get you squared away. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up at this point because I got nothing else to add unless you do.
Nope.
All
I
right.
think that's it. So sounds good. We open up the shop here at 11, here till
11.
4. Come visit us if
Yes.
you're local.
Do it.
We always love to see you.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.